Yo, after a few years of the Hell's Paradise manga ending, we finally have gotten some more content from the GOAT, Yuji Kaku himself. The Hell's Paradise one-shot Forest of Misfortune came out a few days ago, and it was so much fun. We got to see the GOAT Gabimaru back in action once again, and man bro, he was popping off. I mean, I guess this isn't too surprising, but it does take place after the main story. Let's start with some clean color pages of our cast for the story. Basically, it's a group of kids that are trying to hunt Gabimaru down and murder him. These kids have no idea who they're dealing with, bro. Like, Gabimaru can end them all if he really wanted to. But seriously, Gabimaru's spit is also dope. And to be honest, he doesn't really seem bothered by the army of kids trying to kill him. Well, at least until one of them hits him with a hoe. Gabimaru does some creepy ass face too by moving his eyes in like separate directions, scaring them all off. The kids struck him got so scared their knees actually gave out and they can't even move. Fortunately for them, Gabimaru spared them. The kid actually asked Gabimaru what is he doing in their village, and Gabimaru literally points out that this specific spot they're in spawns right outside their village. And everyone inside the village is actually scared that an outsider is coming around the forest, especially since they might be one of the criminals who escaped the capital. However, Gabimaru reveals he's only there to grow veggies. Yeah, just grow vegetables. This kid is shocked, but also points out that it wouldn't be possible to cultivate this patch of land. Gabimaru wants to practice growing crops to help out Yui, his wife, but it also seems like that won't work. Gabimaru then makes an offer to the young girl. I mean, I thought it was a boy, but I guess I shouldn't assume. Each time she kills him, she has to teach him something about farming. It's fine since Gabimaru's body can take their attacks. The kid begins to teach Gabimaru, and after the first lesson, he tries to execute him like the Yamada Asemon. Of course, the kid doesn't even come close to scratching his neck, and Gabimaru reveals to them it's because of Ninpo. The next day, after the lesson, the kid tries to feed him poison bugs and mushrooms, but Gabimaru just eats them and asks for more, since he isn't affected by poison. The kid then goes to the other kids in the village and tries to get them to join him against Gabimaru. After all, he might be one of those criminals the Shogun sent to the secret island and return as monsters. The next day, the group of kids join in to help teach Gabimaru farming, and then they try to kill him with a boulder, only for it to break in two. More and more kids start to show up every day to the Gabimaru daycare, and they try to kill him in many different ways. One day, Gabimaru finds the butt of one of the ones he planted, and takes the main girl. After dealing with the boar that could come for his plant, Gabimaru decides to walk the group home at night. Gabimaru notices something, but doesn't really say anything until the girl is the last one left. He decides to carry her home, and then comments about how no parents came out to greet the children. The kid reveals that a monk calls it the plague. A while back, all the grown-ups got sick and too weak to get out of bed. If they can't get better, they'll miss the fall harvest, which is why the kids had to step up. Gabimaru says they made the right call, trying to kill him, and whenever it's necessary, don't hesitate to kill. Kid eventually starts to fall asleep as Gabimaru goes into the details of killing and the art of war. Eventually, Gabimaru runs into the monk he heard about. They sit down somewhere, and the monk gives Gabimaru something to drink as they begin to talk. The monk says he's grateful for Gabimaru playing with the kids, but that he should also stay away from the village because of the plague. The monk tells Gabimaru that the girl's dad passed away because of the illness and left behind the mother, the girl, and her brothers. He tries to say how grateful he is to Gabimaru for lifting their spirits, before Gabimaru asks for his verdict. Verdict? When the monk questions this, Gabimaru remarks that they're birds of a feather, and that he wanted to scout the monk out too. After all, they're both killers. The monk believes Gabimaru saw right through him because of the scar, but that's irrelevant. Beautiful people can be scarred too, like his wife. It's the smell of blood and poison that tipped Gabimaru off. Gabimaru surmises that the monk is part of a gang of bandits, perhaps there to take over the village. The monk will infiltrate and cripple the village before his buddies arrived. He did also slip the poison into the medicine for adults, even the kids for last. It's an old scheme that even Gabimaru knows. The monk then moves his candle to illuminate the area above and reveal that Gabimaru is now surrounded by a bunch of bandits. But in actuality, I'd say they're trapped inside there with him. Turns out tonight was actually the night they were gonna make the village theirs. More guys are standing outside too, and the little girl wakes up to a knife at her throat, believing that she couldn't do a thing. Gabimaru's hand holding the drink shakes. The monk thinks that it's because the nerve poison it had is working. However, Gabimaru isn't affected by poison, kicks the bowl in the monk's direction. This part's badass. All the archers above fire the arrows, and as the liquid splashes in the monk's face, Gabimaru grabs all the arrows and then fires it all back, killing every single one of the archers. He's a fucking monster. When the monk can see him again, all his allies are dead around them, and Gabimaru reminds him that he's a killer too. This monk then really tries to proclaim that he and his gang were the criminals who went and returned from the island and set free with the pardon. Of course, we know and Gabimaru knows that's all cap, and reveals the actual truth. the tale has become convoluted. He essentially summarizes the main story of Hell's Paradise. For y'all who don't know, there was an island thought to be paradise, and those that returned had their bodies transformed into flowers. Shogun then used death row convicts and set the executioners of the Yamada clan to watch over them on the ominous island. All of it just to retrieve the elixir of life and bring it back to the Shogun, the full partner awaiting the criminal who pulled it off. That's what led to a battle to the death. How nostalgic, right? Gabimaru states he was one of those island convicts, but wasn't the one who survived. That's because technically, Gentetsu Sai was the one who Yuzuriya and Gabimaru decided to give the pardon to, while the other criminals went into hiding, believing to have died. The way Gabimaru rewards it makes it sound like he's some sort of spirit. The foolish monk doesn't believe Gabimaru, and his supposed experience tells him that Gabimaru isn't a threat. Clown in the chat, everyone. He attempts to attack Gabimaru, only for Gabi to flex some ninjutsu on him. Static blazes enough to blow off the top of the monk's body. One surviving bandit recognizes the white hair and fire spells, realizing that he's Gabimaru the Hollow. Now that Gabimaru knows what toxin is used, a fairly common one amongst shinobi, he can whip up an antidote the next day. He tells the girl she doesn't got to worry anymore. Her family and village are now safe, and they got her to thank, all because she hunted him down. Her father, who calls her Aki, and now we finally get her name, had put the rice seeds and brothers in her hands. They're the village's future now, and now she managed to keep it safe, thanks to wanting to kill Gabimaru. It's funny how life works, huh? Gabimaru then goes and casually kills the rest of the bandits while breaking a sweat. One dying bandit says he'll pay for that, since the one who sent them was a lord. This leaves Gabimaru with no choice but to hunt down the lord. This time he works up a sweat because he has to try to not kill anyone, but it's enough to convince the lord not to come after the village again. They're done by morning and head back home to their village. We see that the adults have recovered now, and the one-shot ends with Gabimaru laying on top of a tree and taking a bite from a fruit. I think it's a watermelon, but that's it. Overall, I really enjoyed reading this. It was nice just getting to see Gabimaru again, and especially seeing him so much more relaxed. He's definitely in a much better state now, and it's just cool seeing him like this. He's definitely one of my favorite protagonists in manga. The story was also fun too. It would be cool if we could get some more Hell's Paradise content in the future, but I'm just grateful we even got this much. I hope those of you who watched enjoyed just as much as me, and thanks for watching if you got this far. Sorry for the slow uploads recently, and I want to try and get more consistent for y'all. Anyways, be sure to comment down below your thoughts. I love reading them, and I'll talk to y'all again soon. Peace.